Last time, I, the Warlord, succeeded in conquering and corrupting a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. But despite the joys of Imperial subjugating and the bullshit of consortium corruption, I failed any act of liberating it. So, leaving the galaxy in a far worse place than I entered it, I found a planet theoretically closer to home I can liberate for shits, giggles, and to satisfy the primeval urgings of conquering things that aren't mine yet. And after 10 hours of warfare, Thor role-playing, and planet liberating, it sure was something. Martians are fucking maniacs and very short fused with very little prompting needed to set them off, and their architecture must be made of hopes and dreams for they fall to a few hammer strikes. So obviously, as you can see on screen, I, the Warlord, conquered and liberated Mars in Red Faction Guerrilla, the third game of the said mentioned Red Faction series. It really is an enigma of the series, for it is not a first-person shooter like the last two, but a third-person open-world action game with its renowned destruction physics engine powered by GeoMod that is as much of a danger to you as well as the enemy. Some of the best destruction the Warlord has seen since Destroy All Humans, Bad Company 1, Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction, Mech Assault 1 and 2, and even Just Cause 2. It was produced by old THQ and the former Saints Row developers Volition Incorporated on June 5th, 2009 for the great Xbox 360, the mere PlayStation 3, and Windows PCs. Then 9 years later, in 2018, it was re-released again as the Re-Mars-tered version. Get it? Mars? Remaster? Remaster? Oh, fuck off. In fact, it's the only game within the Red Faction series to get the treatment, with it being considered the best game of the entire series, highlighted more so when its sequel was released. Yeah, the less said about Armageddon the better. Man, the Warlord remembers playing the demo of this back on the Xbox 360 and being blown away, sometimes literally, by the destruction physics, stealing a mech from the Earthling oppressors and just obliterating the structures to nothing as to the chaotic battles and rebel sandbox it promoted. And I loved it. But I never got to the game until years later, like so many other games the Warlord has conquered alongside so many he hasn't yet. But now jaded by adulting responsibilities and slightly smarter from life lessons, the Warlord returns to Mars with a conquering analytical eye. And like every other conquest, record said conquest into an easily to digest broadcast for all my convulsing masses and loyal officers to be entertained and, more importantly, brainwashed into applauding my hard-earned achievements for the realm. But, and I'm sure many of you are asking this very question right now, for I bring it up every fucking broadcast, is it worth it? Is it worth the hard-earned groschen to divvy up? Is it worth your meager attention spans over more obvious alternatives? And finally, does it still hold up after all these years later compared to everything else and even the past examples I brought up? Seems to be the case with an overall reception of damned good within the Steam and GOG marketplaces, with an overall reception of very positive out of 5. Well, the Warlord has done this conquering business to answer the said questions, as well as showing off my conquering abilities. So, hope you all are ready for a feature presentation, but this is a slightly longer one than the usual format. Think my Stalker broadcast. You better be, so please, may you all guide your eyes to your electronic picture and sound broadcasting devices. Grab a cold one of something, sit down, and shut the fuck up, and see the Warlord accidentally starts the revolution one fuck up at a time.
Man's asses!
And finally, Mech Warfare outside Mech Warrior. Oh, great game, great game. May you all be so kind as to shut up and gander at the Warlord's latest conquest of Red Faction Guerrilla. And the game begins with a spaceship taking an extremely uncomfortable sharp dive onto the red planet, like it has other intentions besides landing. In a queue you will likely see in the British Post Office, barring the heavily militarised police, we would meet our hero.
Alec Mason. Mining engineer. Demolitions Class C. Report to Parker Sector.
And we would meet his brother with a very similar haircut as well. Kind of a fashion statement in this game. Very popular during the mid to late 2000s period of games, with many protagoni using the same haircut. And whilst reminiscing about the old days, the EDF, no, not from this LSD-laced withdrawal experience, they show up and put on full display in this cutscene how evil they are.
What the hell was that?
Well, the EDF. They own the road and everything else. Forget the propaganda. Free Mars is over.
Faction? Didn't enough people die the last time?
We're under martial law here. Prison camps, torture, death squads. We'll need something to believe in.
A quick trip to what appears to be a home and seeing soon-to-be familiar faces,
I've seen her somewhere.
I doubt it.
the brothers head for a little side hustle at an old tool factory. But first things first, you do this.
What the fuck?
Almost like the game wants you to move on to the more important and exhilarating gameplay, and to show the game's most remembered feature, destructible environments. Using a combination of the Geomod and Havoc physics engine, the destructibility of the buildings is one of the best the Warlord has seen since Mercenaries 1 and Battlefield Bad Company. Being modular and taking individual chunks out of a structure that could then stand weakly on one support column only to split in half taking something else with it, or collapse into an avalanche of rubble down a hillside. The destruction is just beautiful, cathartic fun, and whilst each individual environmental item has its own physics engine, the destruction is not only cathartic and adds to the chaos to come, it can also be tactical in application. Add in choke points and cover, collapsing floors from the inside out, breaching with either your Menor of sorts, overpowered sledgehammer, and explosive weapons like the explosive charges that I always have on me. And to encourage this destructive gameplay further, you will gain scrap from the wreckage, useful for buying and upgrading weapons. So, as Dan puts it,
On Mars, scrap is like gold.
and during this very clear tutorial stage on the destruction of the environments, your brother tries to tempt Alec into joining the Red Faction.
Dan, what the hell is going on? Who's the girl?
You know what's going on. Alec, the Red Faction could really use a guy like you.
To do what? What are you people doing out here?
Whatever it takes.
I'm not a terrorist, Dan.
You think I am? The EDF are wiping out towns. Alec, we need help.
Hey, you got me into enough trouble Earthside. I just want to do honest work here.
That's what we're fighting for. If we don't resist, they'll take everything.
Enough!
You'll see I'm right about this.
But the good times don't last.
We're out of time.
The EDF stop our terrorism against some ruins, and Dan is gunned down like a dog.
Under arrest. Surrender or we will open fire.
Alec, run! Run!
And then, just to make his day worse, the EDF are at his home.
Drop the weapon. Now.
You guys afraid of a hammer?
Drop it, smartass.
Hey, what right have you got to trash
Your
my—
brother is Daniel Mason.
Yeah, he was. He's dead.
This trailer and its contents have been confiscated by the Earth Defense Force. We're placing you under arrest.
For what?
Don't play dumb with me, Miner. You're Red Faction.
Look, I just shipped here from—
I guess you work fast. We found these detonators among your possessions.
I'm a mining engineer. I have a permit for those.
It just got revoked. Shoot him.
And in this cutscene, it really shows how pathetically incompetent the EDF as a regime really is. Even in desert camo and fully armoured, they get ambushed by armed civvies, stand out in the open, and get one kill to themselves whilst themselves getting a full squad wipeout, with Mason getting the last kill. And luckily, just to get this game rolling, the Red Faction is there to take Alec under their wing.
They'll hunt you from here to the ice caps.
He said I was Red Faction.
Like it or not, Mason, you are now.
Now, finally, the true game can begin. Welcome to Parker, the smallest of industrial sectors named after a hero from years past, housing a small refinery, desperate workers, and several hamlets seemingly made out of scrapped ships and whatever else they can find. Maybe after getting your unlimited cardio workout and saying hi to your fellow Martians, maybe grab a bargain at the Red Rock, no, not that one, trading outpost. And nestled within the canyons on Mars, you'll find your local Red Faction HQ to immediately lose EDF attention, invest scrap into upgrades and modules to improve oneself in combat. So think of Parker as the tutorial zone, because it is. It's small enough to not get lost and packed with all the essential gameplay mechanics, side activities, destructive environments and opportunities, and scrap needed to begin your liberation of Mars. And being on Mars, as you can all see, it's very brown. But since this game was made in the latter half of the 2000s, it's oversaturated, and that's an understatement. I swear every game during that time did this in the name of realism. Yeah, just like real life, look outside your window. So you will see a lot of brown, brighter colours being washed out and worn, and a lot of orange-yellow overlays, especially in some cutscenes. Jesus Christ, sometimes it looks like you're watching through a urine sample. But in all honest opinion, the colour is really the only complaint from yours truly, as well as the mountains forming before your eyes sometimes like an eldritch horror. Each of the 7 sectors of the map and the factions have their own distinct look which helps them stand out nicely. The EDF military have a mixture of a grounded and modern militarized looks mixed with a few sci-fi shapes here and there, like those accursed gunships that look like sea-based lifeform. Clashing with the uniform, clean and orderly EDF is your fellow Red Faction. Rugged, industrial, recycling the same NPC models repeatedly over and over again, and using self-made weapons and armor from the scavenged tools and leftover EDF gear, the Red Faction are your physical epitome of the rugged underdog rebels, almost disgustingly so, and Mars itself is fairly majestic despite the drab colour palette, giving the planet itself a sense of being barely tamed. But the small towns dotted across the land, wild natives picking off the poor souls that stray too far from civilization, abundance of these ore deposits that just look really cancerous, with its dark red hue sticking out of the brown dirt. It gives a Wild West vibe, and some of the views you can see are worthy of a picture, with Phobos and Deimos orbiting nonchalantly. It's picturesque and peaceful, quite something considering the game's main appeal towards destruction. Anyways, back to the liberating and destruction and stuff. And having only been on Mars for about 15 minutes, Alec is already sent out to begin his revolutionary adventures, for he is clearly the chosen one, on account of being the mythical protagonist.
Mason, this is our former base of operations. We had to clear out before the EDF discovered it. Now we just need to cover our tracks.
Literally down the road. It's pretty simple, teaching you how to use some environmental features like conveniently placed barrels to enhance the destruction of the base. Goes well with exemplary destruction physics until the EDF send in their weakest amongst their ranks.
You said this was gonna be easy!
But he wins after several dead police officers and
Good work.
Yeah, I'm fine, by the way.
You've done your brother proud.
Yeah, he had the same definition of easy as you.
And in between his assignments, Alec must reduce EDF control to 0 by doing side activities like rescuing your fellow soldiers from being prisoners or fighting off an EDF raid. Or sometimes destroying vital EDF buildings, the more important targets being heavily defended but has a greater points deficit to liberating the sector. And after that you'll unlock one last mission to liberate the sector entirely. Anyways, back to the main story.
We received word that a high-ranking EDF officer is looking to defect. Sam went out to meet with him.
Jogging all the way, Alec was in time and mows down the few EDF soldiers harassing Sam. And this victory, plus the other tomfoolery and industrial sabotage in Parker, has forced the EDF to retreat from said sector, now giving the Red Faction a chance to move into the next province of Dust. They just need a distraction.
Convoys are ready to roll. Begin your attack.
So, with heavily armoured truck buggy thing, a rampage against 12 radar emplacements ensues, and the driving physics in this game are interestingly reminiscent of Saints Row. Well, in fact, it's based off Saints Row 2 engine. It can be on either side of the extreme, either too floaty or very cumbersome depending on the vehicle. But with airborne control you can pull off some cool stunts if you aren't getting caught on the scenery constantly from this loose handling mechanic. And the toughness of some vehicles just erodes so quickly. Case in point as the EDF hound Mason on his suicide mission, crashing through anything and everything in his way. Swarms of earthlings spawning out of nowhere and agonizingly watching the health bar dwindle from each crash and EDF shot.
All convoys are clear. Now get that last one and come on home.
This piece of junk's falling apart.
But by my skill, the mission is done, and Parker is free. It's okay everyone, we saved you from the terrorists. Now enjoy your freedom with no jobs, no homes, no cars, and no ore I heroically mined. I definitely feel like a hero. So, are you sick to death of Brown yet? Well, I got some bad news for you. Welcome to Dust, a more suitable name for a sector if I ever heard one. The main industrial and miners sector of the Mars colony, and a place where the EDF presence is more obvious than before, with the mayor's mansion looking more like a fort, some EDF bases scattered in strategic locations, housing for the officers with enough defenses to stop a determined attack. But maybe you could find your luck and ore deposits out in the wasteland. Just don't go too astray or too greedy with the ore, or the marauders will put you down with their spawning, irritating war bands. And if you tire from the drab landscape and pissing off the authorities, for now, then come on down to the town of Dust, a quaint little place with places to trade, be incarcerated, or drown your sorrows in this stupidly oppressive regime.
Some refinery workers have been arrested for shipping raw materials to the Red Faction. They're in the EDF office park. Can you help? I'm not... Fine.
Nice pub, by the way. It's called Alcohol, and with a new sector comes a new base to squat it, an armor upgrade and modules that can enhance your survival or turn you into a one-man wrecking ball are available. Be it a jetpack, an earthquake creating pack, what? Or my go-to for its helpfulness in tough situations, the med pack, which is also irritatedly linked to the sprint button. And a few new weapons are also added. You have the rocket launcher with its handy lock-on upgrade, which is seriously worth the investment against gunships, a not so useful arc wielder, which is pretty good in close quarters combat, and an armor upgrade that will give Mason a slight fighting chance and an extra health bar. But never trust your armor, always keep moving in this game. So, with the extra tools, there are extra activities to remind the EDF they are not welcome on Mars anymore. One of Warlord's favourites is the raid activity. Not the same as the one from Empire at War, oh my god, not that one. A simple role reversal of the EDF assault. You and a handful of Red Faction fighters will attack an EDF stronghold. Anything really, from fortresses to hotels. With Mason as the equalizer though, they don't really have much of a chance in this chaotic close quarters and amusingly destructive minigame, which always ends with something exploding. Collateral damage is another equally fun side hustle. It's near identical to a Saints Row minigame, I forgot the name, it's just without shit hitting the everything. Accompanying you is Jenkins. He'll drive you along as you destroy everything. Again, very fun to do, but I swear the Martians are terrible drivers. Yeah, public destruction is fun. What isn't fun is interception. Follow a courier on the map, kill it, collect the MacGuffin, then you have to run away from the pissed off EDF, and then you win. And it's boring. Stealth and non-action in this game doesn't gel very well with this game's emphasis on high-speed gameplay and constant motion. And with the AI overreacting as soon as they see you, they will either leave you behind if you have the wrong vehicle, or simply kill themselves and some people around them from their overreaction. I swear I haven't seen driving this bad since Simpsons Hit and Run. And if you attack a certain EDF military garage in the sector, you'll bring to service the militarized Walker. Lumbering, armored with twin missile launchers, able to crush anything else under its mechanical tread, and one of the 3 Walkers you'll use in the entire game. This is when the game is at its best. Sounds great too with its heavy mechanical whirs and grind as it lumbers across the landscape. It's almost like playing that Mech Assault game. Such a good game. Also, I swear it looks like one of those mechs as well. Anyway, speaking of sound briefly, depending on what you're listening to, it's decent, but the king of the crop on sound design is with the weapons and combat sound effect. Stock sounding, yes, but it makes up for how bassy it sounds, being loud, overwhelming to the earballs, that adds to the chaos of urban combat and urban warfare. The explosions are deep and thunderous and bone-shaking, complete with the eye-burning flashes of fire. They really do feel like destructive elements that you barely control. Buildings collapsing in an avalanche of rubble, with partisan gunfire, screams of casualties, and the rumble of military vehicles adds to the mayhem of when a firefight begins. And even a sledgehammer sounds Herculean and devastating, with sickening bone crunches with every successful strike. Anyways, returning to my adventure, the Dust chapter is probably one of the Warlord's favourites in the entire game, all because of 2 missions in the same province
The EDF has confiscated every walker in Dust. The miners have turned to us for help. So we're gonna get those walkers back.
It's slow at first. Go into the site, maybe splat some EDF soldiers along the way, and then find a walker in a garage. But once you get in, oh boy, this is where the fun begins. And when you think the mission ends with delivering the walker to Kepler's truck, nope! Turret sequence. A really good turret sequence. Destroying pursuing EDF also helps that the rocket's turret is also highly responsive, and it just has a nice punch to it when you use it. And it ends spectacularly with the Red Faction destroying a bridge.
Nice work, Mason. We got a fine piece of hardware now.
Awesome. A cherry on top for this high-octane fight. The other good mission...
We're setting up a new base of operations in the Badlands. We hid a cache of weapons near the site, but we didn't hide it well enough. The Marauders found it and made off with our weapons. Our trackers believe they have a hideout near this location.
After a dull sequence of following a Marauder into the Badlands, he drives through a portal of all things.
You're not gonna believe this. The Marauders drove right through a rock.
Say again.
Must be a hologram, but how did they get that technology?
Go in there and see what you can find out.
Then the ambience hits. The bleak skybox, the leftover detritus that seems out of place, and a canyon trail leading you to the ruins of a former Autor mining complex.
This must be it.
And the game slows down the only time it does so, and does so really well. Then add the loneliness to it all, your comms being jammed from an unknown source, the ruins of the past, and the eerie ambience that adds a tinge of sadness. This level just seems so out of left field for this game. I fucking love it.
What are they saying?
And to add the cherry on top, for people who've been following this game, the significance of this place is that this is the Capek Labs from where Parker defeated Autor back in Red Faction 1. Even the ghostly voices of Parker and Capek are heard as you traverse through the ruins. And you may even see Parker's APC used to get there. I can't be the only one who thinks this, but this place gives me the Glow vibes from Fallout 1. A place where time seems to have stood still, and a place where something of historical significance remains, even if tragic or corrupt in the landscape. You delve further into the ruins, Mason comes across a rather ominous looking shrine.
I've got some kind of device here. I've never seen anything like it.
Sam better have a look. Mason, we've got a problem.
Then the EDF come along and desecrate the ruins and then bring the atmosphere back to normal. Anarchy reigns as the EDF and Marauders duke it out as Mason flees like a hero he is. Mission complete, and the Red Faction has a thing they know absolutely nothing about.
Here you go, Sam. You know what this thing is?
Maybe. I'll need some time.
Alright, just holler if I can get you in.
But I know two people who do know. The leaders of EDF Mars Command.
Earth Defense Fleet.
I need a status report, General. What's going on down there?
Intelligence confirms that a Red Faction guerrilla is in possession of the nanoforge. The insurgent has been identified as Alec Mason. He apparently acquired the device in the Autor mining facility.
Is the forge operational? Has it been replicated?
That is undetermined, Admiral, but intelligence believes...
Intelligence believes a lot of things. When the Hydra reaches orbit, we'll have answers.
My battalions are preparing a counterattack as we speak. My orders are to...
The Council has placed this entire operation under my command.
Why wasn't I advised?
I will not debate protocol while the terrorists weaponize the nanoforge. You will transmit drop zone coordinates when the Hydra is ready to deploy in force. Cobell out.
The last mission in Dusk isn't as memorable.
The miners of Dust are staging a rally at this site. They expect a peaceful demonstration, but the EDF has other plans. Captain Halbert Gunnarsson is in command here. His unit killed 300 settlers in Tracy, so expect deadly force.
It's pretty simple really. Rush into the old mines, you kill a bunch of soldiers, turn off the speakers, one rocket at a time, and destroying the working places of so many people you're trying to save. And then you kill the commanding officer as he runs away like a prick.
Gunnarsson is dead.
Well done. These workers have learned an important lesson today. The Red Faction is here to fight for them.
Freedom, fuck yeah! But the EDF is kicked out of Dusk, but now comes one of the worst missions in the entire game, at least in my experience.
You've intercepted a transmission to an EDF artillery base. Their guns are about to fire on Dust.
The mission is a gauntlet. You are weaving in and out of artillery shots as you try to get key personnel out, preserve important information, get people out of jail, and just making sure innocents survive. Don't stop, keep moving, and seriously kill those marauders. But I did say this is one of the worst missions in the entire game. Why? Besides, when you fail, you will be sent back to the very start and do it all over again. Fuck! The second worst bit is how random the artillery shots are. And it's always towards the end of the mission. At worst, it gets worse around the last 3 objectives. And if you lose one objective, the mission fails. This mission during my Conquest took me 3 attempts to complete. And after that final success, and seeing the definition of insanity before his eyes, Mason begins to get wary of the Red Faction movement.
I just watched the EDF waste an entire town. There's just a crater back there. You people are outmanned and outgunned.
You people? I thought you were one of us.
What's the point of fighting a war we can't win? They'll blow us, our towns, our whole planet to hell.
Not before they have this. The enemy's hunting for it.
The Marauder device. What does it do?
We don't know yet. It's based on some kind of nanotech.
Well, if the EDF wants it...
We can't let them have it. Samanya is gonna help us determine exactly what we've got here.
To make this device work, I'll need better equipment. I can find it on the black market, but we'll need more salvage. A lot more.
I'm on it. If that thing turns out to be some Martian can opener...
I can guarantee you that is no can opener. This particular chapter is the least memorable of the entire game, and the shortest in terms of things to do. If you thought Dust is brown, well, it's more fucking brown. The Badlands really is a bleak place. Ruins of the past litter the road and the desert sands. Even a massive desolate traffic jam from Red Faction 1 is just outside your new base. And it's just barren with bugger all in it, with a few bases and outposts dotted in between. And a massive bridge that takes way too many resources to demolish. And hanging over a new sector to liberate like a sword of Damocles, a massive gun that designates a free fire zone, firing on anything and everything is nearby. Another reminder of EDF overreactiveness. But like before, with a new area comes new toys to mess around with and new enemy types to crush with your hammer. But the Marauder is introducing the Cleaver that has a slower attack animation and does less damage.
Are you shitting me?
The Red Faction get a new disc launcher.
Eat my short dick!
Yeah, no. But the rocket launcher gets a fantastic multi-launcher upgrade, saturating the enemy with explosives and demolishing everything in its way. Even the EDF gets a sweet upgrade. You'll have a few new side activities too, one being damned fun, whilst the other is creative. By the gods, they make you hike. Heavy Metal is the one I like. A horde defense minigame as you destroy incoming EDF units in either a mech or a hard-to control tank and rack up kill combos as quickly with terrain destruction as possible, leaving battlefields a Stalingrad-like mess. I love it. This is when the game is at its best, like I stated before. The other gig is Convoy Ambush. States the bleeding obvious, really. So much so it becomes a routine. Simply block the road that the convoy is going down, as indicated by this massively hard to ignore red arrow highlighting the road, kill the bad guys, and then blow up the vehicles or seal that one particular one. Always an NPC that you must return to HQ, shaking off pursuers along the way. It's not a bad side gig either, but I wish it could have had more of a progressional impact like in Far Cry 2, unlocking more weapons or vehicles with each item under a more difficult convoy security to attack, requiring more guile and tact to overcome. This would add to increasing the power of the Red Faction, for they always look the same from the very beginning of the game, just pissed off civvies with weapons that upgrade over the course of the game. But that's it. No upscaling or patchworking of armor, or vehicles like tanks or mechs are ever used by the Red Faction despite raids and storing them in safe houses. Just seems like a waste, even in visual storytelling of the Red Faction evolving from an underground rebel group to an established Martian army. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Mars liberation stuff. Anyway, the main goal of this chapter is opening up the free fire zone to move the Red Faction into the capital sectors of Eos and Oasis. So, alongside some explosive dismantle of EDF military installations, some of the most hectic moments of my conquest of Mars, by the way, the Red Faction have a few things that Mason needed to do.
Colonel Broga is in command of the EDF artillery base located there. Your job is to break into this EDF base and bring Broga back to the safe house. We believe the Colonel has information that can help us.
So with a few toadies in tow, we ambush his convoy and take him in. Fleeing from retaliating EDF forces, we see a darker side of the Red Faction, which I'll admit was more interesting than the underdog but determined people we are constantly seeing.
It's harder for what I
Do you want to see my scars? This is what you did to my body.
Kill me!
But with a very determined interrogator in tow, ample uses of nipple twisters, Chinese arm burns, and forced fart inhales,
No! Stop!
we pry vital information out of him.
They're blind spots!
Blind spots?
Gaps in the artillery formation!
You mean your guns can't hit them?
Correct! They're obstructed!
Then we bury him in the hole. The next mission, Mason would have dismantled the local Air Force detachment in the Badlands, and it is a very short mission, if you know what you're doing. Just run, constantly gun, plant explosives on 8 gunships, then flee. Before long, it's over. It was over so quickly I forgot it was even a mission. Then, you move over to helping Kepler again.
EDF soldiers in Oasis fired on a worker rally and killed 58 people. Dozens more are injured. We're sending them a truckload of medical supplies, but these checkpoints block the shortest route to Oasis.
But with Kepler constantly on the move and EDF reinforcements trying to stop him, and you, plus the checkpoint guards, it is the better of the 3 missions at the Badlands, constantly forcing you to move as quickly and attack as quickly as possible. It is a frantic battle prioritizing the right enemy at the right time, whilst keeping an eye on Kepler's movements.
Please tell me those turrets are down. Damn it, Mason, clear the checkpoint!
And to add to the cherry on top of making this the better mission in the Badlands, there is a light mech, almost left there like a treat for the Warlord. So of course, I went on a rampage. EDF and civilian sad faces be damned. Yeah, the penalty for harming civilians is really negligible. You'll make so much good boy points by destroying the EDF, it's almost pointless. But the way is clear to the free fire zone.
Welcome to D-Day, Mason. Parker, Dust, and Oasis are now free of EDF control. These guns are all that stand between us and Eos. Colonel Broga's data has exposed gaps in their artillery coverage. We plotted multiple lines of attack to exploit them.
And they're off. And the radio waves are already filled with fighters shitting themselves, exploding to death, and then getting their morale back together.
This ain't no waypoint.
Almost there. See the bridge.
Cut the chatter and focus.
Attack's on fire! I can't see! I can't see!
Help me! There's blood everywhere!
It wasn't annoying at all. Now, the real fun begins in the firebase, clearing out bunkers, pushing through EDF lines, and blowing up everything that has an EDF badge on it. It did take 2 attempts though, first being shot,
Damn it!
and then dying from a collapsing billboard.
Holy fuck! On! Damn it!
But through mass destruction, constantly looking for Red Faction crates in the middle of an EDF base which are scattered everywhere and give you vital ammunition, and my trusted sledge and C4 combo, the firebase falls silent.
That's the last core.
The gun has been silenced, Mason. It's over.
No, Commander. This is just the beginning.
You're right. EOS won't even know what hit him.
EOS and Oasis are open, the seat of power of the EDF is ripe for systematic destruction, and the many dissatisfied MILF housewives are waiting for us. Something to fight for. Let's free this place. Well, these sectors are sure as hell nicer than the last 3 sectors we visited, with clearer signs of terraform with green, breaking the oversaturation of brown for the first time. The skybox still looks post-nuclear though, gone is the rugged and industrial hellscapes of Parker and Dust. In its place is a very clean, artistic and sophisticated urban landscape perfect for the middle class, and the many government officials, artisans, military officers and their MILF housewives and secretaries to reside. And the vehicles kind of look more artistic and seemingly affordable for the upper echelons of society. But now the Red Faction is in town and liberation needs doing, one destroyed structure at a time. And it seems to be getting under the EDF skin, willingly lashing out at random passers-by and shooting unlucky tourists viewing the local Martian council buildings. How uncouth. Time to teach them a lesson. Many side activities follow in a blur of repetition and explosions and civil disobedience. Yeah, you might have noticed, side missions really do take up a vast majority of gameplay time. Like, freeing prisoners in the main EOS government building. Why are they stored in an office complex?
Alright, I'm here.
Bullshit!
Holding off a determined EDF attack in a mech that decimates a suburb. Probably the most fun fight the Warlord partook in his Conquest of Mars. Participating in a raid against an EDF-occupied housing estate for some reason. And on a more important development for the story, Samanya has turned the nanoforge into a nano rifle. Powerful advantage to the faction that eats away cover and people with one well-placed shot. It's a shame it sounds really underwhelming considering it is the linchpin of the story that even the EDF is willing to murder the entire planet for, yes really. Many side activities fill up my time in Oasis. Only 2 major missions take place here.
Our target is this chemical depot in Oasis. We want the EDF to think we're after explosives. But our real objective is this computer. The owner is a contractor with access to the EDF security network. The plan is to steal the access codes off his system.
But I'm just a highly sought after grunt of the faction, so my main job was simply to defend my comrades against various waves of EDF, willing to destroy anything around them just to win. It's a simple defense mission. Kill the EDF, move swiftly to the next swarm point, and then repeat the process until victory. Which happens, of course. May have been easier if I had a jetpack, but I like healing quicker than flying. Still won though, fuck you. And as the Red Faction become more blatant in their attacks, dismantling Oasis's garrison, helping Space Alex Jones attack the chemical depot I just helped defend against, and save more prisoners from EDF bullshit, the Earthlings' control collapses once again. And being close to the capital, they get desperate.
The EDF are pulling out of Oasis. To cover their withdrawal, they're sending in the tanks. Armored units are now converging on your position, and they'll destroy anything in their path.
If defeated, the capital is wide open for the Red Faction. so both sides fight tooth and nail. Mostly though, the EDF were hell-bent on getting Mason being the face of the uprising and whatever. Though taking many losses, they did succeed. Fuck them though, for I have the reincarnation powers. Deus Ex Machina shit, and with this well-earned second attempt, I succeed. But now, the prize capital is open for liberation. The biggest little city of Mars, Eos. And for the capital, there is fuck all to do. Unless your ideas of fun are to look at statues of EDF vanity, potential targets by the way, shopping in places with absolutely fuck all in it, or public drunkenness. No MILF housewives though, that's an Oasis phenomenon, and we have dibs. Not that he would show your face around here anyway, there are posters of Mason everywhere, glowing in electronic blue, broadcasting and illuminating his face to everyone. But with that, I have noticed a change within the Red Faction. Maybe because of being in the capital and being so close to victory, some people seem a bit more relaxed and intimate. Don't know what's in the air, but now is not the time. Anyways, you know the drill by now, for it is a very repetitive cycle that happens every time you go to a new sector. Seriously, for a second though, it is probably one of the game's many failings, for it's the same cycle through every single chapter. And it doesn't help how the world is, ironically enough, very unreactive to your actions and the missions of the Red Faction. Go through liberated sectors and it's business as usual, just with less buildings. How cooler would it be though if the EDF had more of an ever-present presence? You know, making them more oppressive or more impossible to defeat. So, you know, you might see them do counter-terrorism operations with EDF worming their way back into liberated land. More battles for towns and strategic places on the map, like gang warfare in San Andreas. And as the Red Faction takes more sectors and evolve into a Martian army with better equipment, the EDF presence becomes even more oppressive and desperate with checkpoints, militarized patrols, and some such in their remaining territory, so, you know, making side missions there more difficult and evasion trickier. Oh yeah, and the Marauders, maybe being the third faction trying to make moves instead of just coming off as bullies, looking to take you down because you overmined some all. But it is a shooter first and foremost, not Mountain Blade. But still, something to think about. Anyway, Oasis Liberation. You know the drill, helping your comrades by making life a pain for the EDF. Chasing couriers until they drive off a cliff or they drive through a shopping centre and lose you because you had the wrong car. Cause the revolution to start by crashing your truck. Hold off an EDF assault with a lone mech and destroy a nearby service station. Help a more radical sector of the Red Faction by shooting up a shopping centre.
EDF elite like to waste their money at a place called the Canyon View. We're gonna turn it into a graveyard. Holy shit!
Full of EDF soldiers, the Red Factions are good guys by the way, they're still good, and to show how good they are, and when things are at their calmest, look at the rather splendid skybox. But don't take too long, you need to destroy this evil organisation. How evil?
Our support in Eos is growing, and that makes the enemy desperate. EDF has declared an emergency lockdown, with orders to shoot anyone on the street. It's a virtual siege. No food, water, or medical supplies until residents give up Red Faction sympathizers in Eos. EDF snipers have already killed a dozen people.
Kill them before they kill the civilians. Even if it involves the destruction of private property and business, they are bad and those who help them are also bad. So fuck them. Like the many corporate stooges and collaborators that sponsor and benefit from EDF occupation.
The EDF has organized a top-secret economic summit. They want to reassure business leaders that the insurgency is under control. Our giants of industry call themselves civilians, but make no mistake. Every EDF massacre and atrocity on this planet is done for their benefit. Mars makes them rich, and brutality keeps their workers in line. We've only got one chance.
So, in a barely finished building site, they are wiped out with plenty of rocket fire.
That's 3. Plus number 4 off the list. One more. That's the last of them. All targets are down.
These men have paid for their greed. We make the price high enough and Mars will be free.
And once again, the EDF have been fucked up beyond belief. Kicked out of all of the sectors barring their main base. The Red Faction is ready to launch a Hail Mary attack and free Mars once and for all.
The The Red Faction has liberated Parker, Dust, and Oasis. Now we're on the verge of driving our enemy off the surface of Mars. We have the Nanoforge, and soon we'll have EOS. The Earth Defense Council will then have to make a choice. Accept peace on our terms or continue a war too costly to fight. We're launching a massive coordinated strike on positions in the EOS sector.
After a long-ass drive back to Parker to gather some soldiers for some reason, all things are quiet and good and calm. Until it wasn't.
Abort the mission! Abort the mission!
What's going on?
We're under attack! All Red Faction units return to base!
Hold on, we're on our way!
In the post-nuclear skies, EDF bombers, the only time you'll actually see them, lay waste to the Badlands base and take out a very important voice. Base is in chaos, swarm with EDF grunts, gunships and the ruins. All seems lost. Until Mason and his band of 2 eager soldiers that jump out of a still-moving vehicle counterattack the EDF counterattack, and rally those that remain, whilst being badass doing so. And just like that, the Red Faction has been reduced significantly. Ah, hell no! After everything I've done? But Samanya has a plan. In an unprecedented and some would say a desperate move, Samanya decides to reach out to those dickheads known as the Marauders and form a short-term alliance.
If I had a masked driver, we need to see the Marauders.
The Marauders. Should I check you for head wounds?
Look, the Hydra is coming. This rebellion is over unless the Marauders can help us.
The Marauders are a pack of wild dogs.
Mason, I'm one of them.
What?
I'm a Marauder.
Yeah, it was predictable. Think about it, a mysterious woman with technological prowess that throughout the game asks subtle questions about the Marauders.
Did you see the Marauders?
Just the ones I followed in there.
Did you view them?
How do you care?
Never mind. Just bring me the device.
Yeah, as subtle as an eggy fart near a fan. Anyways, there's a problem besides the Marauders themselves, fucking Mad Max cosplaying supremacist bullying dickheads that deserve nothing more than a good exterminatus. Their homeland is in the irradiated zone. Yeah, there's a hidden province. Ooh, we need more scrap. Fucking what? Not much though. So I go and notice the very little EDF presence in the liberated sectors, despite the Red Faction's demise. Again, this could have been really good for visual storytelling, but anyway. And the game slows down to a bloody crawl. It feels tacked on and only there to lengthen the game. And also around this time, I begin to panic, as with no EDF structures or patrols to destroy and with the many ore deposits depleted, I can't get enough scrap to get this radiation shielding, and with most of the sectors liberated, it felt empty and hypocritical to destroy some liberated buildings. So I went to Oasis and went on a panic-induced light mech rampage. So off I went, back to the resting place of Altor Echo, saw the sights worth seeing, destroyed their art, and maybe extract some resources and defeat their best warriors. Crossed the dreaded radiation hotspot which lasts about a mile. And see the many purple blimps on the radar indicating the Marauders.
Holy shit!
Forcing you to do the one thing this game discouraged you to do until now. Sneak around them before reaching the main Marauder HQ.
You have brought an Outlander. He defiles this place.
Well, I guess you got all the charm.
You, show us the forge.
Not until we have a deal.
With the forge, we can destroy the Hydra.
A ship in orbit is too distant.
Not if you bring the accelerator online. The shell would have the velocity to reach its target.
It is not impossible.
What? You Marauders are rocket scientists now?
You Outlanders think us beneath you. And your mistake grants us power. Give us the forge!
It stays with me. You get these freaks in control, or I start vaporizing.
You failed to protect the forge! This man kept it safe!
Sister, you forget who you are. He is not one of us.
No, but he has fought for you. And if need be, he will die for you. He will die for you. He will die for you.
Now, wait a minute.
The alliance is formed, but with one caveat that I would render null and void as soon as bitch, Vasha, opens a fucking bitch supremacist mouth. Ah, whatever. Fuck her and her backwards post-apocalyptic cosplayers.
Very well. But remember, this planet is rightfully ours. It will be returned to us. Bitch!
We have a base to use. Once. And have a new insurgency to orchestrate. First things first, and following a stereotypical freedom-fighting thing to do.
When the EDF destroyed our base, people lost hope. They need to know the Red Faction is still alive. They need to know we won't give up. We have Boscha and the Marauders, but it's not enough. We need our friends, Mason. We'll use the Voice of Mars to get the word out.
It's a simple enough defense mission with only 2 avenues of attack that are easily defended. They just use overwhelming numbers, but it only takes one setting foot in the building for it all to fail. But it was a one-off. Ample headshots, rocket launchers on vehicles, and shooting anything that looks earthly.
All clear, Sam. Let's get this show started.
Here's the recording I made. Let's hope this works.
But succeed, and the mission is out. The Red Faction is reborn, and the fighting isn't over.
This is the EDF RM-8. We'll use the forge and arm the missile with nanites. Then we'll launch it from the accelerator into orbit. That's how we'll destroy the Hydra. With a few modifications, the RM-8 will be perfect. It's light enough for the accelerator, but strong enough to take the pressure. And it has a guidance system. The Marauders are raiding this EDF facility. They're stealing an RM-8 along with some other components for the accelerator. We need you to protect the truck.
Remember the big artillery base we disabled crossing the free fire zone? Well, time to bring that back online and help our Marauder comrades, and provide artillery support against EDF Marauders and poorly implemented roadblocks. Think Death from Above from the original and still fantastic Modern Warfare, but with a terrible camera angle in a deliberate bird's eye view. Very similar terrain around the landscape that can get confusing to navigate with only a few breaks and obstacles here and there. Oh, and you must follow your comrade and keep them safe, whilst they drive like a fucking maniac with their health painfully whittling down with every unnecessarily collision or overly ambitious EDF pursuer. At least controlling artillery is never not fun.
Don't let them near the Marauders!
Now with the Red Faction rallied and Marauders on side, for fuck's sake, we launched that Hail Mary attack that was defeated earlier and break the EDF's back by attacking their main base on Mars.
We're making an attack on EDF Central Command. It's protected by a force field, and only EDF units can get through. Lucky for us, we found a way inside.
Using a not Humvee with a beacon that shuts down their force field entrance, all hell is let loose on the Earthlings. And this is the best mission of the chapter. The main objective is to decapitate EDF command on Mars, and yeah, we fucking did. Why tell about it when I can show you it? With that, the EDF is decimated.
That's the last one, Sam. Central Command is a pile of rubble.
Now with their backs against the wall, they decide to throw everything they have left, and for some fucking reason, it's a lot, alongside the Hydra, oh yeah, remember that, with enough firepower to end all life on Mars that they are willing to do.
Find and secure the nanoforge. Make best efforts to spare infrastructure, mines, and industrial zones. Terminate all Red Faction insurgents.
What about the civilians, sir?
They're expendable.
Thank fuck the Marauders have a massive and ideal mass particle accelerator for this scenario. We just need to defend it so we can fire a nanoforge shell into the ship and hopefully end the war. So let's fucking do this, one last time. Returning after a mission absent, the artillery is used once more. stopping a very brain-dead tactic of EDF bum rushing a single highly predictable road with jeeps, tanks and APCs. Some did get through though, much to Samanya's annoyance. But destroy enough vehicles and you make a nice roadblock, slowing the assault down and turn the whole issue into a turkey shoot. Yet the EDF have numbers despite near enough being defeated, and they still manage to overrun the Marauders and Particle Accelerator. Useless fucks. And to get in there is this weird rocket launching tank thing that would look very comfortable in Command and Conquer. Awkward controls and everything. And away I go. Funny that, as me and my disposable comrades destroy all EDF forces on the way to the Particle Accelerator, a circular arena full of tanky hostiles, I just hid behind cover like a hero and shelled Roth's tank until he shuts up. Then, using rockets to unblock the accelerator, the war is over, and victory is mine!
Admiral, we have a visual. This is Admiral Cobell of the EDS Hydra. What is your status?
Just fine, Admiral, but yours is about to go red.
Who is this?
The voice of Mars.
Mason? Admiral!
Mars is free. The Red Faction are its inheritors of a free world. The crowds come out to welcome their liberators, but Mason and Samanya know better, and the EDF could return. But they'll be ready. Yeah, they did the exact same ending from Freedom Fighters. But yay! Warlord has freed a planet, thus justifying my piss-poor performance liberating a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, infrastructure is decimated, rebuilding needs doing, jobs are scarce, the Marauders are still alive, and many have died for the cause. But with their collected military and engineering experience, they can make something incredible, durable, and oh, by the gods, I made something worse, didn't I? Right, my job is done. I win it. Let's get this shit over and done with. What a dandy of a time I had on Mars. Freeing the people from an overly reactionary regime that baffles me even after all's said and done. Visually, it's fine with lots of brown and muted colours and NPCs that are constantly recycled, but the planet is pretty with great skyboxes and Phobos floating around, majestic, untamed landscapes and places of cosmopolitan civilization and MILF housewives, until I ruined it all for liberty, scraps and ruined marriages. The sound is also fine, but added into the chaos of revolutionary warfare, it makes every fight a heroic endeavour. And of course, the gameplay, although very repetitive in mission structure and side activities, the great chaotic dance of death, also known as fitting, and the destruction wrought from said fighting is the best thing of the entire game. The explosions, fellow fighters at your side, the destruction and the sense of escalation are brilliant, even if the EDF bullshit by spawning behind you and can ruin the fun over such minor actions like driving past them. But the overall package is a fun experience when you are set free to do so. Just don't think too much about the story, a very B-movie premise. Fun though, and being on sale for as low as $3.99, it's worth it. So yeah, I recommend this game, especially over its sequel. Seriously, what were they fucking thinking? Anyway, and that, my fellow subjects and most loyal officers, was my latest broadcast over my latest conquest of Red Faction Guerrilla. Stimulating, wasn't it? And I wish to say thanks to all of you for your patience and helping my realm grow. Now please stay tuned for more future broadcasts, and if you like what you see, do the usual YouTube bullshit to help my realm expand, extend, and get larger. Now I must return to Earth and shop whilst making many others drop, and on occasion watch others' human intelligence flop. Seriously, what the fuck am I doing this time? Well, stay tuned and find out. So until next time, this is the Warlord, signing out.